Closing in on about 44,000 miles, just shy of that at the time of this filming. This is a Fleetwood Tioga Ranger Class C, roughly 28-29 feet. Gas power Triton V10 on a Ford chassis with generator and full body paint. Overall, appears to be fairly well kept. You know, used, not abused kind of thing. Why is she here? That's the number one question I always like to try to knock off right away. And the most recent owners actually bought it back in March, and they never used it. Obviously had been used previously. A couple family health concerns kind of took precedent, and their need to travel was kind of usurped in a sense. They're not in a desperate need to get rid of it, but they said, you know what, we're not going to be using it. And they know that we have one of the largest and most successful consignment programs in southern Michigan, and they said, let's have these guys get rid of it so that we just don't have to, you know, mess with it whatsoever. The good news, whether we're selling it for those folks or selling it for ourselves, either way, we can still do things like package deals with the vehicle, hitching, financing, trades, etc. We can still do everything for you that, you know, we could do on this one that we could do on one of our own. Real quick test of the generator before we get going here. Hold the off button to prime it real quick. We've got 408.7 hours. So, ooh, that's good though. That means it wasn't like neglected and left alone. Yeah, buddy. I don't know if you can hear that. She fired right up like nothing. That is good news. Quick look at her with the slides actually, two of them closed up before we get going. Easy travel and access here through the living room, and really, you don't need the slide at all in the living room. It just makes it a little bit nicer. Just kind of opens her up, gives you some breathing room at your destination. It's also very easy to slide straight through to the bedroom and bathroom area. Now, the bed does remain accessible in transit, which is something I look for in a lot of motorhomes, but you will notice the foot of this longer queen bed does kind of tuck under that cabinet when you reach your destination. That's sort of the push-pull benefit and detriment of having a longer bed and a bigger closet. But at the same time, you do still have, like, I could sleep here. I'm taller than my wife, who could sleep there if we had to stop in transit somewhere overnight, and we'd still be good to go. I do appreciate the carpetless nature of the main deck of this thing. With the slide out being above the floor, that, you know, eliminates the need for carpeting on the floor, which most people are not happy with anyway. In a sense, we kind of have carpeting on the ceiling, but it's not going to be like an, you know, an old Scooby-Doo party van with shag carpeting on the ceiling. This is a soft touch ceiling liner, and the idea behind this is to just drown out all kinds of noise. And it's kind of like, it's sort of like sound foam in a sound studio where, you know, musicians would record music or something. It really blots out anything outside. Now, we've got central air with double ducting pumping through the coach, which is really nice. And above the kitchen, which we'll come back and look at in a minute, we've got the bigger Max Air vent fan up here for that extra superior airflow. Now, this is a simple model, but a very effective one. I like the layout here with the opposing seating. When the seating all kind of faces inward like that, it is very social. All of our windows have pleated shades for privacy. Obviously, the windows outside are blotted out. Now, in today's day and age, if this was less than like a 32-inch screen, we'd be wasting our time. When this was first built, times were a little bit different, and we didn't feel the need to have a 97-inch flat screen in our little Class C runaround coach. Point is, though, we still have a nice TV here, and that is a big, heavy-duty swing arm. If you felt like swapping that up to something larger, you should be able to. I like how all your entertainment stuff is right here where it's easy to access. Now, let's take a look at the front overhead cab here. That upper bed thing, that decking is heavy duty. I noticed that when I flipped it over, and obviously the previous owners included a ladder to be able to get up and down there, but this is a homebrew solution. When this thing was first built by Fleetwood, it did not have this ladder here, though I like the look of that. I like that sort of like oil rubbed hardwood sort of appearance. Now, this is another homebrew solution. I'm not sure what the exact purpose of this might be, why you would exactly mount a shelf all the way up to the ceiling. Perhaps they used it to hang stuff off of, though. That's the one thing I can come up with for that. Now, I've looked up through the nose of the cab area here. I can't find anywhere there's been like leaks or seam failures. I do really like the treatment on this skylight up here, though. So I love it's very, you know, the upper deck of this thing up here, the gooseneck bunk area, not gooseneck, I'm speaking in towable terms, pardon me. Anyway, you get the idea, the over cab bunk area. It's got a very truck camper execution, and that is not a knock whatsoever, because if you want to say one thing, truck campers are probably one of the very best RVs you've ever seen at doing the most with the least amount of space. That extra light up here, the swing out TV, the way the entertainment is set up, this handy little storage pocket organizer over here, that is like truck camper 101 right there. Now we've got a very basic cab execution up here. They didn't go over the top. Like, it's got a nice full body paint look, but on the inside this is more of a an intelligent price point series for like Larry Lunchbucket and Jane's 6-pack, you know, but it gives you that eye appeal for something you're going to feel proud of. It is well kept up here. I don't see where it's all scarred up. I can see that the I do like the carpetless nature up here too, and there is actual like heat shielding under that as well. That helps maintain a more even cabin temperature while you're traveling. Now obviously you got dash air and heat, but you also have coach air and heat. We have heated power side mirrors, so if you're going to be zipping around in a chilly situation or morning or night, you're going to be good to go. Pretty simple, straightforward cab area here. We also have tank heaters as well, so if you are going to be camping overnight and it is going to drop below freezing overnight, you'll have that extra protection. This is something I see that there's a lot of things on this that I actually see shared in execution with the towable RV segment of the industry, and one of those is by including a refrigerator in a slide out. Now, it's not that towable RVs are the only area you see that done, but I see it done there quite often in comparison to motorized RVs, and it's a great way to make the RV look and feel bigger in the living room, because this huge fixture, the refrigerator, is now off the floor plan and it doesn't eat up floor space anymore. Now, if you take a look at all the seating and stuff here, you can see that this is, like I said, it's been used, not abused. There's no like snags, stains, everything looks good here. You know, it's got some miles on it. It had some trips. That was its purpose, and it did a good job. Now this is a Dream Dinette system with a gas strut to help this table go up and down very easily for bonus sleeping situation. Taking a look over here at the kitchen, a couple things I really like. First of all, you've got limited counter space here, and they kind of compensated for that with this little extension counter drawer-ish thing, in a sense. Folding stove cover, and somebody went through and just cut a really nice piece of wood here to fit right over and around the sink, because originally this did not have a sink cover of its own, so that does maximize the space there. To you know, get an idea of the total cabinetry, we're going to start here right next to the entry door. You've got a very large overhead cabinet, you can see, with those double struts. As we come around the kitchen, it is actually pretty impressive, the total pantry and drawer space that we have in this thing. So it's a lot of kitchen in a small amount of space. They did a very good job. This whole floor plan is really just a concert of efficiency. Moving on. Let's head back to the bathroom here. I do like these big windows, letting in all that light. And maybe this is part of the reason why this thing doesn't feel so darn small to me. It has a big RV feel, even though it's not the biggest RV you're ever going to see. Now, this bathroom very much reminds me of the front of a like big travel trailer or smallish mid-size fifth wheel. You've got the dual entry bathroom, but what is nice here is in this motorhome we've got 7-foot ceilings, so huge headroom for a big tall person like me. And as we step inside here, you can also see that we've got the extra drawers there and all sorts of like bathroom dedicated storage here. Just to give you an idea of sense and scope and scale, I found a little Kleenex box laying around the camper, or pardon me, coach. Either way, you get the idea. Just to let you see how big that is. Now these shelves are also adjustable, so if you have big stuff, small stuff, and everything in between, you can kind of convert it around to your needs. I do like these windows. All right, moving on. Before I start talking about the windows a third time. Slide out bedroom here, something you don't always find in a coach this size. I do like the dual cross breeze windows on each side. We do have a nice queen bed here, which is kind of a handy thing, is corduroy cover. Is corduroy on fleek? Is that still a word? Is that a thing that people say? I never quite got into all that. Anyway, we've got an impressive amount of bedroom storage here as well, and once again, this very much reminds me of the front end of like a Rockwood signature travel trailer, especially when we open everything up. You can see the big full overhead cabinets above the TV area, that huge closet, and there is dresser storage or like opening cabinet storage below that. And then in the bottom right, we end up with this nice dresser and open corner space. I like that they didn't make it too blocky, so it's very comfortable in and out. And once again, Like this TV was not a standard thing. It's nice that somebody put one in. Generally speaking, in today's market, you'd probably find a bigger TV put in here. But at the same time, it's awesome that you're not going to have to spend the money to put any kind of screen. And frankly, for a couple little minutes at the end of the night to catch up on the news or watch a movie till you fall asleep, that's probably just about all you need. Back outside here, overall, she looks pretty decent. Full body paint, and it is looking fantastic. Part of the reason is because it looks like it's pretty much spent all of its time under a cover when stored. If you take a look here, the folks not only had a whole cover that comes with it, but they are also apparently looking to install a bug deflector on the front nose over there. I don't know why they call that a bug deflector, more like a bug obliterator. One thing I did notice, and this is the kind of decency you get from us here at Haylett RV, guys. We'll go out of our way to show you stuff like this. I don't even know how well it's translating into camera, because you have to be standing, it's like Hogwarts, you have to be standing at the perfect angle to even see this. There's a little bit of like a flux, a shift and a variation in the door here, and I went through it. It's all nice and solid. I'm not worried about that. And then I looked down and I realized apparently this door was hooked open over here, and this is a nice heavy-duty metal latch, which is nice because they don't break. Part of the thing that is nice about a cheaper plastic latch, though, is that if you forget that door is latched and you go to yank on it to close it, you can kind of pull the skin away from the substrate in this laminated door right here, which happened a little bit here. It's pretty minor. Again, I don't even know if you can see it on camera, guys, but if I see something, I say something, no matter, you know, how small. If it's beyond normal wear and tear, I will let you know. The dual power entry step is something that's nice to kind of increase the ground clearance on one of these. There's a good look at your onboard propane system. Howdy, everybody. So up front here, what I do like is this little partial nose cap and the way that it wraps up over the nose to meet with the fiberglass seamless roofing up top here. And what's kind of cool is instead of having a seam all the way on the front of this, which is just going to end up being a leak factory over time, it moves the seam over to an area of very low stress. And you can see that it does seam over the bottom and all the way up to the top. Now those are not crazy fancy graphics. The raised Tioga lettering on that is actually part of the cap itself. The protective slide awnings on here doing their job of reducing maintenance and keeping the seating and bed areas of the RV a little cooler. Also very nice with the refrigerator being protected by a slide awning to help it maintain temp easier in hotter areas. We got our gas 4000 generator over here, obviously running like a top. You heard me start it up earlier. I haven't turned it off since. She's doing just fine. Over here, a couple little storage bays. Just give you a quick little look at whatever we can on the fly through, and the tires look good. One of the other benefits to this thing always being under cover is that the tires are not weather checked. We just apparently have Mr. Spider trying to make a nest in the corner of that thing. He is in for a rude awakening later. He messed with the wrong motorhome and the wrong RV nerd. Anyway, back here it looks like someone had done some towing behind this. Speaking of towing, being on the Ford chassis with a V10, this should be a 5,000 pound tow rating, and they put a really like Class A heavy-duty rock guard on the back of that thing. The camera on the back on towable RVs, that'd be an addition. On motorized RVs, that's more common than not. Although when this was first built, actually, it did not have a backup camera. That was an aftermarket upgrade some folks put on this. But they did include, they left the camera with it and the little observation monitor that you can use in the dash area of the RV, up in the, well, dash area of the RV. A little glance at the storage pockets below the slide on this side here. We will kind of wrap things up before we head upstairs to take a look at everything that's up there. But a quick mention of the little outside entertainment station here. If you want to get some crunchy tunes going, brother, you can fire this thing right up with the music of your choice. Or you've got all kinds of little power outlets here to, you know, keep phones charged up and whatnot. And real quick, correction, I think, I have to review my footage, I think I refer to this as a fiberglass roof. Not a fiberglass roof, this is a rubber skin roof up here. What makes it look like fiberglass from the ground, which probably is what it was, is the full body paint job actually does come over the edge of the rubberized roof membrane a little bit. What I was probably thinking of was our Jayco Melbourne over there with its fiberglass roof, because it's got a similar paint job, and I just saw that thing the other day, so it's probably what's in my head. Anyway, back to this one. The roof could use a bit of a cleaning, but that's it. There's nothing up here that I see that scares me. In fact, I see good news. Like, I can see a mixture of previous seals, in addition to new seals, in addition to seals that have been spot treated. What that tells me is that this roof has been actively maintained on a regular basis, so they were always there to identify, address, and replace as required. Now, let's look at the silver diamond plate elephant in the room. I don't know why this is here. Obviously, something happened to this roof. I don't know what, I don't know why. I'm gonna walk on it, which I probably should test it first before going trucking over it, but there we have it. I never claimed to be smart. Walking on something I don't know what's under it when I'm, 12 feet in the air on a motorhome is probably not a good idea, but the fact is, 200-pound guy can walk all over that and it feels solid as can be. So whatever happened, I don't know, but it's been fixed, and apparently it was fixed pretty well. One other thing I do want to point out up here, someone's gonna see this, go, what is that? That's the little Sirius radio receiver basically there. That's all she is. So overall, looks all right to me. Flawless, perfect, no, but nothing that I think a quick hose bath wouldn't fix. I don't see anything here that really concerns me. It'd be like if you got a used car, a 2010 used car or something like that. There's going to be a couple things, like maybe the cigarette lighter plug doesn't work quite as good as it used to or whatever, but overall the car is going to be just fine. That's kind of what this is. There's nothing to really be concerned about here, and it's certainly priced appropriate for its condition. So with that, I welcome you to give us a call here at Haylett RV. Obviously, we are no strangers to having a whole lot of different things for you to take a look at on any given day. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.